So this haul truck here came in, not shifting, not driving, and after some troubleshooting, it turned out that the fluid was really nasty in this transmission. So basically figured out that they hadn't been changing the oil and it was really sludged up. The modulation valves were pretty much stuck and it wouldn't shift into some of the gears. So we obviously pulled the transmission out of the truck and tore it down. Here we see it all tore down on the benches, all tore apart. There's 7 clutch packs in this transmission, and obviously all the hard parts, several planetaries. I don't remember exactly how many. We went through the torque converter you see sitting there. That's already back together when this was shot. So basically pulled apart, laid it all out in order, just how it is. Everything on the tables here is all cleaned up and resealed. So basically keep everything organized and cleaned and covered when you're not working on it. That's basically how I do it.
Out here, just putting this tranny cap on real quick. Just finished testing pressures, took it out for the first test drive. Shifts really well. Basically what was wrong with this tranny is it was all gunked up, and so pulling these modulating valves off, it was just piles of literally thick, nasty gunk under them. So it was about 9,000 hours on this truck and they hadn't been changing the oil, so that's basically what happened to it. You know, it was kind of a failure on their part. These trannies should last, you know, 10 to 15,000 hours very easily, you know, closer to that 15,000 hours. I actually have another tranny, the same tranny tore down in another bay right now that is at almost 15,000 hours. So if you change the oil in these things, these older trannies last. You know, so just getting things tied up under here, and we'll do a little more test driving tomorrow and wrap up this job.
So just a quick update tonight, guys. This is the same truck here that I just finished up this tranny on. I was working on last night. I got the tranny tied up and got a couple other segments on this job. So right now I'm doing the last one, which is pulling this brake pump. This Integra seal, they call it right here. Pretty well known for leaking, so we're getting that changed here. Pretty easy job. Just pull the fuel filters off here and a few lines and pull that pump out. So change that seal and that'll finish this up tonight. So with this truck, this is a 745 versus the 740B that we've seen in the last couple jobs. Those of you that work for CAT, the handful of you, know that there's obviously a lot of service letters on these trucks, one of which is the differential dowels inside the differential. So this is the front differential out of this truck. We took it out to do the update, and as you've seen there, that carrier bearing has been just chewed up and destroyed, whether it was from being set up wrong or possibly just debris ran through it and really damaged that. But either way, we ended up going through it, replacing all the bearings, doing a full rebearing reseal. Because of the amount of metal in it, you see me here torquing in the final planetary, the final drive planetary. We've just pulled out both planetaries without pulling the whole final off, just to clean them out. And I was able to pull the ring gear out and clean out all the metal and old oil, just to make sure that everything's clean and contamination free before we go back together with it. So here you just see me with my tech angle, just doing the final torque on all these bolts. Alright guys, so to show you a little bit what's going on tonight, working on rebuilding the cylinder over here in the cylinder bay. So this here is our cylinder bench that we can stretch cylinders out and pull the rods out of the cans. Behind it here under the plastic is our hone bench. That's how we run the crosshatch into the cans. We do that every time we build one. This here's the cylinder that I'm working on. It was a really rough cylinder in a bad environment, and came apart really tough. Looks like they had to use heat in order to pull it apart here. I heard that the threads are pretty damaged on it, and they did a bunch of cleanup on it already, but I'm just finishing up and putting it back together. For those of you that don't know how hydraulic cylinders work or don't know much about it, this here is the head that would go on to the cylinder rod first, followed by the piston, thread on over these threads, and then there would be a nut that goes on here. That whole assembly then slides into the barrel here, and the head threads into the barrel. Then obviously the rod travels up and down the barrel. There's a set of seals that goes onto the head and the piston here. That's obviously what we're replacing, putting a new crosshatch into the barrel. That crosshatch keeps the seals lubricated and assists with the sealing process. So this one obviously is pretty bad condition. Normally it's just some leaky seals, and they're really not this bad a condition.